All right, I think we got sound now. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Give everybody time to come on in. Um, Look, so if you are listening, watching this, I need you to share this video today. I need you to share it um, on YouTube, Periscope, anything else. If you're watching this, uh, yes, we're still in 40 days of purpose, but I got a special message today uh, for LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Patrick Mahomes, and um, and I think those are three of the biggest, if not the largest, voices. And Colin Kaepernick definitely. Colin Kaepernick. I didn't put his name there, but Colin Kaepernick definitely. I need us to share this. I want to get this video to them to today. Um, Listen, I don't know if you have noticed. Well, you couldn't help but notice unless you live under a rock. I was traveling for the past 2 days, and I've seen it, of course. Um, the Breonna Taylor, the Breonna Taylor travesty, the injustice, the shameful treatment of Breonna Taylor. Now, listen, we're still in 40 days of purpose, and I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe that God lined, that God allowed uh, this particular series of lessons to line up the way they did for this day at this time. And I think it's just time. It's just time for us um, to um, to get on the same page. I believe that it's time for us uh, to be at a different level of a different level of of action. It's time for us to be at a different level of action. It's time for us to be at a different level of place. Listen, if you're in today, I need you to go ahead. I need you to talk back to me today. I want you to talk back to me today. Uh, I need you to comment. I need your feedback on what I'm talking about. But I need you to share this. I want you to share this. I want to get it to LeBron. I want to get it to Steph. And listen, the power of social media is you never know who knows. You never know who's watching. You never know who sees. This is on YouTube. This is on Periscope. Uh, this is on Twitter. I'm going to retweet it on Twitter. I'm going to play this video, try to get to my Instagram page. Listen, I just need to get it in as many hands as possible so it will get up the food chain to the people that I mentioned: Colin Kaepernick, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Patrick Mahomes, because it's time for us to do something. And clearly, the at this point I can't even call them anything but our enemies. Um, because and I don't say enemies. Well, yeah, I do. It's even enemies in the sense of them trying to cause us harm, to cause harm, um, but not necessarily just to cause us harm. It's because the people on the other side of this equation are are fully self-indulged, self-aggrandizing. They are self-centered, and they don't care about people that are not like them. Um, and they will use. Interesting thing is they will use people um, of let's just say of a lesser level of intelligence, of a lesser level of yeah, of a lesser level of intelligence. They will use them to to um, get to get to get everyone else in a I it's the only way I can say it. They use everyone to get in a mode of 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 for I guess I'm trying to say it. I'm trying to say what I'm saying in a nice way, but really there is no real nice way to say it. Listen, they're just drawing a line in the sand. They're drawing a line in the sand, and um, they the powers that be, the people who are in charge, the people who are in high places. Listen, the Bible even talks about we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness, people in high places. Um, uh, the people in high places, the people in these the people who are uh, spiritually dark, the people who are um, who are uh, mean, yeah, people who are mean, uh, and and for us, um, the reality is that for us, uh, we can't we can't afford to sit back anymore and look at what is going on in our society, what's going on in our country, what's going on with people of color, what's going on with people who um, are marginalized, people who are um, hurting, people who are um, the people who are less privileged, uh, the people who aren't the richest in the world. Good morning, Pastor Jackson. Good morning. God bless you. Hey, the people who and watch this. No matter how much money they have. I even mentioned I mentioned LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Patrick Mahomes and like Colin Kaepernick and other big stars, big athletes, big athletic stars. Um, they they have a great degree of a great degree of money, but they don't have the degree of power that the people that pay them have. They don't have the degree of power that the people that pay them have. And the reality is that we need to, if we're going to make a change. See, the system is flawed. I watched um, last night on TNT, I believe it was. Um, they were talking uh, Kenny Jackson, I believe. Anyway, they were talking about uh, these three athletes were on the panel. I believe it was Grant Hill, Isaiah Thomas, Kenny the Jet, and then the young lady that was hosting the panel on TNT. And I'm talking about this Breonna Taylor thing. And then they had this councilwoman who actually is a white woman from Louisville, talking to them about the Breonna Taylor thing, and she said she was calling on those who were in the NBA to help pass these laws about the Breonna law, about the no knock warrants and all that stuff. Um, and they were talking about changing um, changing the laws. They were talking about changing, about making a difference, about doing making a change, doing something different to cause um, those um, who are who are uh, um, who are getting lost in the shuffle. Those who are like Breonna Taylor. Listen, by the way, did you can you sit back and for just a minute imagine uh, uh, the can you imagine what um, the sports the sports figures would look like if or what the sports world would look like if these major sports figures would just say we're not gonna play no more. Could you imagine what it would look like? I've got a solution. I'm gonna tell you in just a minute. But hey, go ahead and I jotted this down. Go ahead and jot this down. The NFBA, the NFFL, the NFBL, and the NFHL. The NFBA, the NFFL, the NFBL, and the NFHL. NFBA, NFFL, NFBL, and NFHL. Okay. The National Freedom Basketball Association, NFBA. The National Freedom Basketball Association. The NFFL, the National Freedom Football League. The National Freedom Football League. NFBL, the National Freedom Baseball League. National Freedom Baseball League. NFHL, National Freedom Hockey League. Okay, listen. So there's so many things that are kind of running around my head. I'm trying to get all of this down in just these few minutes that I have this morning, and we'll talk about it a little more later. Uh, but the National Freedom Baseball, National Freedom Basketball Association, National Freedom Football League, the National Freedom Baseball League, and the National Freedom Hockey League. Listen, what would happen if all of a sudden you just decided that instead of having the National Basketball Association, instead of having the National Basketball Association, instead of playing basketball under the guise of the National Basketball Association, stop playing with them, form the National Freedom Basketball Association. Black owners, um, marginalized owners, Black, Hispanic, minority owners. Level the playing field. I'm not saying exclude I'm not saying exclude people who are not of color. I'm not saying exclude white folk. I'm saying, but level the playing field. See, part of the reason that that we can't um, uh, we can't level the playing field in a system that's already been established because it wasn't established for us. Isaiah Thomas said something very profound, which has been said plenty of times before. He said when he said when they pinned we the people, when they pinned we the people, that wasn't us. They weren't writing it for us. They said we were not people. They said we were not citizens. They said that black folk, as a matter of fact, not even just black folk. When they wrote "We the People," they meant we the white people. And I hate to do it in terms of black and white, but that's really what they meant. They meant we the white people. We the white people. But I believe that at this time, in this place, at this time, we are uniquely positioned. We are uniquely positioned to to move in a direction that will help level the playing field. And it's not. I don't believe it's going to come from us infiltrating the political arena first. We did that. We had a black president. They showed us what that was worth. Listen, they showed us that was worth. They didn't get scared about us having a black president. All they did was kept the Senate. All they did was convince us that our vote didn't matter. They kept the Senate, and they were able to tie the hands of that black president. Listen, everywhere we think or begin to think that we have a a kind of getting our foot in the door and getting to the place and the point where things can move forward. They give us a little space. They give us a little space. Let us kind of get they let us get our foot in the door. They ease up just enough for us to get in. Then they slam the door shut on us and injure us so that we can't make any progress. It's time for us to start playing the game like they play the game. It's time for us to start playing the game like they play the game. I'm calling on these athletes, especially. They made it clear. They made it clear. Listen, they don't want listen, they don't want the athletic the athletes, which is and this has been said a long time ago. Muhammad Ali made strides in this area years and years ago when he came out and declared that he didn't belong to anybody. He didn't belong to anybody. But listen, they've proven they don't mind giving us money. They don't mind giving us money. They just don't want us to have power. They don't mind giving us money. They just don't want us to have power. They don't want us to have power. They're playing chess and we are playing checkers. So I'm saying hit them where they live. Listen, I've said for a long time that the only reason they allowed Jackie Robinson to break the color line is because they knew that if the Negro League Baseball League stayed the Negro Baseball League, pretty soon people were going to stop coming to see the white players and they were going to start paying to see the black players because the black players played better. It's just listen, I don't want to make this black and white. I really don't. As a matter of fact, I won't even make it a color. But I will say this that it just so happens that some of the best athletes, some of the best athletes in any of the sports, happen to be black. Track and field, even hockey, um, um, baseball, basketball, football. Listen, you remove those who are um, you remove those folks who are of color. You remove those people who are of color, and even those who want who want to stand up for uh, for the rights of those who are marginalized, of those for the rights of those who are less fortunate, and you move them in the right place, and it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new ball game. You know, who listen? The fact of the matter is that God has given us uh, talents and abilities for a purpose. And I believe this. I believe this. I believe this with my whole heart. Please hear me closely. Please hear me closely. Thank you, Pastor Jackson. Thank you. Please hear me closely. God has given us talents and ability for a purpose. LeBron James, Steph Curry, Patrick Mahomes, I don't believe God just equipped you with your talent just so you could get out there and so that you could wow the world with your ability. I believe God put you in the place that you are, in the times that you are here, for you to be able to bring about a change to the whole economic and power structure of this country. I believe that it listen, it is with the Bible talks about talks about doing something, doing this. The Bible talks about with the foolishness of preaching. God has used the foolishness of preaching to get His message out. And let me tell you, I believe God will use He will use the foolishness, and I'm not saying that I'm using it the same way the Bible uses it, kind of in a ironic sense. He will use the something as simple as the game of basketball, the game of baseball, the game of football to change the world, to level the playing field, to make things different. I believe He will do it. I believe He'll do it. He can take us from being the borrowers to being the lenders. He can take us from being the check receivers to the check writers. He can take us from being those who are working for to those who have people work for them. Listen, He will do it, and He can do it with the economic base. Let me give you one more. Let me give you one more instance, and then let me move forward to these 5 points. Let me give you one more instance. Remember when Michael Jordan, those of you that are old enough to remember, listen, when Michael Jordan, when he retired from basketball, Nike took a hit. Disney took a hit. I think no, Warner Brothers, Disney, whichever one was Roger Rabbit, not Roger Rabbit, Bugs Bunny, and all that stuff. So they took a hit. Everybody that Michael Jordan had an endorsement contract for took a hit. The stock market plunged, and then when Michael Jordan came back to basketball, when he came back to the league, when he came back to the game, when he came back, the the markets, the market, it was amazing. Check the record if you don't believe it. The market, the day he announced his return to basketball, the day he announced it, the market took a jump. He literally changed the stock market. One man, one man, one man. I believe, I believe this. I believe it's time. It is time. Now, listen, this is just me. And listen, I don't even. I don't know who will hear this. I don't know who will, but I pray that you will take it and move it forward. Um, but listen, I believe that God has positioned uh, our young brothers and young sisters. He has positioned these athletes when you guys walked off the court, uh, when when um, when Jacob Blake got shot, when you guys walked off the court, man, they bent over backwards. What do y'all need? What do y'all need? Because they want you to get back. Because and listen, it's not. They don't even care if you're playing in front of the. You guys have changed the world. They don't even care if you're playing in front of the crowds. They just want you to play because they want the TV revenue. They want the endorsements. They want you guys speaking for their products. They want you guys. The State Farm needs you. Um, Nike needs you. Adidas needs you. Everybody needs you. Everybody wants you. Everybody wants you. I'm saying instead of using your star power to build them and then letting the world continually show us how much they don't care about us. How much they don't care about us. Listen, because even when Breonna Taylor, so I got so many things that going through my head. Listen, I know I'm all over the place, but listen. Even when Breonna Taylor was shot, so when George Floyd was killed, they were like, well, why is everybody making a big stink about George Floyd? He had a criminal record and this and that. So they were justifying the fact that that this cop somehow was justified in killing George Floyd because he was a criminal. It wasn't. That wasn't the case. But it was just a convenient argument. When Jacob Blake, they said, well, he shouldn't have been there. So they were justifying. He was going for a knife. He wasn't. But they were justifying the fact that the cop shot him 7 times in the back. But now Breonna Taylor, here's Breonna Taylor. Ain't nobody's demonizing her because she was an EMT. She was an upstanding citizen. She was in her own home. She was asleep. And she got shot. And the only charges they brought were for the charges were brought for bullets that did not hit Breonna Taylor. And she was sleeping. She was sleeping. How in the world? And nobody can say, well, she was a drug dealer. She was just no. Nobody's saying that. They can't use that argument now because she was an upstanding citizen. But still, they find a reason and a way to say no. It was okay. It was something that was justified. How can it be justified? She didn't even fire. Listen, the one shot. It was 1 bullet for 18. 1 bullet for 18. That's not a justifiable use of force anyway. But listen, even that, the 1 bullet that was shot, she didn't shoot it. She was sleeping. And yet, this attorney general, what's his name? Tom what? Y'all will get that in a minute. I think his name is Tom. But anyway, I can't remember his last name. I can't remember his last name. But this attorney general, Tom somebody. is sitting there, standing up there with tears rolling down his eyes, trying to judge. The reason he was crying is because he knew he was wrong. I don't care. Somebody said he's marrying Mitch McConnell's granddaughter. I don't know if he's married to Mitch McConnell's granddaughter, but it doesn't even matter because he was wrong. So all I'm saying is, listen, stop letting them give us little stuff, and let's go ahead and take the big stuff away. Listen, LeBron, Steph, Patrick, Colin, and all you other high paid and in amazing athletes, it's time to do something different. It's time to do something different. Who will you live for? God gave you your talents, your abilities. He gave you the stuff that he's given you for a reason. I remember when LeBron, I remember when you left Cleveland and you said you were taking your talents to Florida. I remember that. Dude, and everybody kind of rode you because you said, but listen, the truth is you have talent. And I don't believe that God gave them to you for just for you to take them to Florida. I believe God gave them to you for you to take us as a people, to load us on your back and to lead us. Listen, it's funny. It's almost. I used to get mad when they referred to you as King James because I said, man, that's sacrilege because King James is the Bible. And they were saying, but listen, man, I want to tell you, LeBron, I want to tell you, Patrick, I want to tell you, Colin, I want to tell you, Steph, listen. Y'all are the Joshuas of this moment. You guys are the people who can lead us to the next stage of development, the next stage of economic development. You guys are the ones who can do it. But you can't do it in their system. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't think you can. Man, but what if you guys just announced, okay, that's it. We're not playing no more. We're gonna go form our own league. What if you guys just announced? I guarantee you, your sponsors would come with you. I guarantee you the TV. Listen, if y'all decided y'all wanted to play a pickup game today, if you decided you wanted to play a pickup game today out in a park somewhere, there would be enough. It would stream enough on YouTube, and you would have bigger viewership than any of the major networks. The power is with you guys. The power is not with the people who are writing the checks. I remember when Michael Jordan, and they wrote him about this. When they asked Jerry Krause, God rest his soul, I believe. I hope his soul is resting. Don't know, but I hope he's not being tormented. I pray that he had a relationship with Christ and that but anyway, but Jerry Krause, they asked him about the championships, and he said about Michael Jordan bringing championships to Chicago, and Jerry Krause said it's the organization that's winning these championships. And Michael Jordan said, he said, Last time I checked, the organization wasn't out there running up and down the court. No. Jerry Krause couldn't have made a shot if he had to. I mean, listen. Okay, he was good at what he was good at what he did. He was good at picking talent, but there are plenty of people who are good at picking talent, because talent will rise to the top anyway. Listen, LeBron, wherever you play ball, people are gonna watch you. Steph, wherever you play ball, people are gonna watch you, and people are gonna want to be there, and people will pay their money. Wherever. So all I'm saying is let's do this. So here's how it ties in. I've only got a few minutes left. I've said every day this purpose, the purpose-driven life. We're gonna be off by 7:15. I may go a little bit over, but I've only got a few minutes left. The author says that we are designed for 5 purposes. And this is really where we get into the crux, the meat of this book, 40 Days, the Purpose-Driven Life by Pastor Rick Warren. This is where we get into the meat of this book. Purpose-Driven Life by Pastor Rick Warren. Purpose-Driven Life by Pastor Rick Warren. He says there are 5 purposes, 5 reasons that God gives us purpose. One is to worship God. Another is loving other believers. The third is becoming like Christ. The fourth is serving others, and the fifth is telling others about Him. The first is worship, enjoy, satisfied. Doesn't mean always jumping and shouting. It means that everything you do becomes an act of worship. In other words, everything you do get the glory, getting the glory, God getting the glory out of everything you do. God getting the glory, and that's why He made you. So again, I'm going to Steph. I'm going to LeBron. I'm going to Colin. I'm going to all these major athletes. I believe this. God gave you your talent. He gave you your ability so that He can get the glory. And so the question becomes, how does God get the glory in this moment? How does God get the glory in this moment? God gets the glory by doing exactly what Jesus said. Jesus said this when he read from the book of Isaiah, when he read in the temple at the beginning of his ministry. Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for He has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor." Listen, wow. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for He has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. When we talk about worship, we talk about everything that we do, giving glory to God, everything that we do, having the ability to worship, to satisfy, to bring enjoyment to God. Everything that we do. Your basketball, your baseball, your football, your hockey, your track, your running, everything. How does God get the glory? And listen, and God gets the glory by you using your ability, to bring to set the captives free, to bring the good news, to bring a better life, to the people who have been marginalized, to the people like Breonna Taylor, to the people like George Floyd, to the people like Jacob Blake, to the people like so many others who have been shot, who've been killed, who've been degraded, who have been disrespected. Sandra, listen, the list goes on. It just the list it is the young kid, what was his name? Isaiah, I believe his name was. The young kid, 20 some years old, who police killed. The young man who was having a mental crisis, and the police put the plastic bag over his head. Listen, it's time for this stuff to stop. And I believe that you guys, if you guys unite your forces, you guys can stop it. And that will be a worship. That will be, listen, that will be a moment of worship. That will be an act of worship. That will be an act of praise. It will be paid. It will be giving back to God the thing that He has given you, and that is a voice. And not only a voice, but He's given you a talent. He's given you ability among that is not like any other in the world. He's given it to you for a reason. God gave you what He gave you for a reason. Use it. Use it for His glory. Use it for His good. Use it for His purpose. That's an act of worship. It's also an act of loving other believers. It's becoming like Christ. Listen, when we talk about becoming like Christ, it's about the thing that yes, Jesus loved everybody, but the hallmark of Christ's life was that he made sacrifice, a sacrifice for others. Not only worship, not only loving others, not only becoming like Christ, but serving others. Serving others with God's gifts, with God's gifts, with God's talents, with the abilities, with the things that God has given you. And He's given it to you so that you can make a difference, so that you can make a difference in the world. Let me say this and then I'm through. Water follows the path of least resistance. And it just flows. That's why rivers bend and move, and they move all around all the contours, all the different paths. It just all the bends, all the separation, because water just moves in the path of least resistance. But sometimes that's why the old saying, being as weak as water. Let's not be as weak as water. Sometimes you have to be able to choose a difficult path rather than an easy one. LeBron, Steph, Colin, you young men have been forged out of a metal that will not bend or break under the pressure. God made you that strong for a reason. Choose a difficult path. In the Bible, before Christ goes to Calvary, he goes into the garden and he prays. He says, Father, if it, he says, let this thing go past. Let this thing go past. He prays in the garden. He says that I don't want to do this. That's what he says. And he says, wait a minute. He says, I came here for this reason. So it's going to be difficult, but it's the reason I came here. It's going to be tough, but it's the reason I came here. It's going to be hard, but it's the reason I came here. And all I want to tell you today is that God has called you. He has positioned you in a place and in a space, in a time such as this. He's made this time for you. Choose a difficult path rather than an easy one. And carry the marginalized, the hurting, the oppressed on your backs. Let's form it. Let's do it. I don't know. I don't know how to do it, but I know there are people who do. The National Freedom Baseball Association. Notice I'm not calling it the National Black because I don't believe it'll just be black. I believe it'll be black, it'll be white, it'll be Asian, it'll be Hispanic, it'll be every creed, every color playing, but in a system where everyone has a chance to not listen. Everybody's not. All the black folk aren't just getting checks written. Aren't just getting checks written to them. Some of them are getting to write the checks. It's amazing because even even as recently as this past week, Michael Jordan has even as recently as last week, Michael Jordan moved the needle on his own racing team. An owner, Michael Jordan owning part of a hockey team. But I believe that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's time for the good old boys club to be brought down. It's time for the marginalized to be owners, to be lenders, to be given the same power. Shout out to I can't think of his name, but Serena Williams' husband, who announced that he is stepping down from his position as CEO of the corporation that he founded, and the Reddit um, that social media are I'm sorry, digital platform of Reddit. He was stepping down as CEO and insisting and bringing to pass that a person of color uh, have that place. It's gonna take moves like that are out of the norm, out of the status quo. The National Freedom Basketball Association, National Freedom Football League. Yeah, may not have the stadiums right now, but I guarantee you, and actually could. We could buy and build any stadiums, anything, and the sponsors would do it. The sponsors would do it. They don't look. Chase and all these other all these other companies and corporations and um, uh, uh, U.S. Cellular and all these people that have their names on these stadiums and everything. They didn't put the names on the stadium because of the owners. They put the names on the stadium because of the players. The players go the, wherever the players go. That's where the money's gonna follow. Please, if you don't do anything else, do that. Listen, I know I've used up all my time. I'm gonna talk to you some more tomorrow, but it's time. It's time for it's time for this to change. It's time to do something different. It's time. It's time. It's time to do something radical. It's time to make a change. It's time. 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 Man, I hope it gets. I hope this gets in the right hands, and I hope that you listen to it. I hope that that me and all my ramblings and all my craziness and all this stuff that I've said, that you listen to it, and I hope it sparks something in you to help bring about this change. Yeah, I've talked about the people who can be the leaders, but listen, if they leading and ain't nobody following, they just out for a walk. Y'all take the lead. We'll hold your hands up. We will hold your hands up. We'll buy the tickets. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. Listen, that's all the time I got this morning. That's all the time I have. I pray. I pray that I pray that if nothing else happens, if nothing else happens, that we will take a stand for us. Stand up for Breonna Taylor. Stand up for George Floyd. Stand up for Jacob Blake. Stand up for those who are hurting, for those who are healing, for those who are helping. Stand up. Don't wait. Do it today. Let's pray. God, thank you for giving me the ability to speak the the words of truth as I believe you've given them to me today. I pray that you will allow these words to travel um, across the wings of the country, across the wings of the morning. I pray that you will use them to bring about a change, to change lives, to change hearts, to change minds. But most of all of God, I pray that you will use them to bring glory to your name, to bring peace to your people, to bring love to your people. God, I pray that everything we do will give you glory, give you honor, and give you praise. Of course, God, it's in the mighty and the matchless and the marvelous, the majestic and the miraculous name of Jesus the Christ. We pray. We say amen. Listen, that's all I got for today. I'll be back out here tomorrow. I love you with the love of the Lord. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's time to start playing chess. Stop playing chess. Listen, go and make it a great day. Until next time, I'll see you.